Hello, gorgeous Leo family. Oh my goodness. I am so excited to be sitting here with you, feeling through November 2020. What a unique and interesting month it is. It really is one of the most unique months I've seen in a really long time. And I feel like it kind of tops off 2020 in some way. And not to like make that sound intimidating, it is just it's a month of big shift. It's a month of preparation. It's also a month of just kind of understanding what this year has been, coming to understanding, coming to clarity, coming to greater peace with where there's been pain or confusion, coming to terms with anything that was changed or been transformed. And also in doing that, opening up, being open to what is next, to the next chapter, with its own challenges, with its own mysteries, but just being open. And I think this month is very deeply spiritual. It's asking us to come back to a deep knowing, a deep, beautiful place. I think I'm also getting excited because we're getting prepped for a lot more Aquarian energy. And guess what Aquarian energy does? It is very humanitarian. It is very much about finding the human in all of us and finding that connective tissue. That is an energy that we really need right now. We have not had much energy in Aquarius for a long time, right? It's been kind of quiet on the Aquarian front for a little while. So having Jupiter and Saturn move there in December is going to be awesome. But let's get back to November. I'm just kind of positioning it here. Leo. This month is powerful. Mercury goes direct in Libra on the 3rd. Mars goes direct in Aries on the 13th, 14th. Right before that, on the 12th, Jupiter and Pluto conjunct in Capricorn, having a final conversation before Jupiter is heading out of Capricorn for good. We have a Scorpio season, transformation season, fixed sign energy. We're getting in there. And then we head into Sag season, which is so luminous for Leos, so activating for this heart space. I have a really specific message for Leos this month. And it gets me really excited, actually. I'm jiving with this message, which is this. It's important, Leos move through the world. They make ripples through the world. They're very powerful, big energies. So healing at this time. Leo energy is extremely important at bringing us back to the inner child and to the heart, right? As leaders and as thinkers and as creators, Leo energy is essential in the world at this time. And often Leos feel a pressure to be big, bold, fiery, lion, in the spotlight, creating from that engine. Being a fire sign, right? We often look toward that as our indicator of how we're doing. This Scorpio season, this season of Mars going direct in your big house, your big vision, Mercury going direct in Libra, in your throat chakra kind of energy, is going to ask you to cultivate that beautiful Leonine energy from the hidden, from the secret, from the moon side of yourself, from the side that 99% is unseen, right? Like people don't see the process that goes on behind the scenes. They don't see the time spent creating. They don't see the time spent emoting or feeling or getting afraid or not that that's necessarily a helpful thing, but this month is asking you to concoct, to brew, to spend a little bit more time in that space. And that is not to say that you're not going to be shining bright in November or creating really beautiful, powerful things in November. It's actually the opposite. The more all 4 cards fell out for your reading today, so I'm not even kidding. A whole chunk of cards just fell out, and I've been pulling 4 this month. King of Swords. Death. We are in Scorpio season after all. Transformation is afoot, especially with that Jupiter-Pluto conjunction. I'm going to be talking about that very specifically in my Patreon, so if you're wanting a lot more understanding about how to deal with that, I got you. 2 of Wands. Yes, love that. 9 of Wands. Okay. But before I get to these cards, I just want to finish the thought I had, which was the more you let yourself brew and concoct from the hidden side this month, the more you're actually going to move forward in life, right? It's the inverse logic of the shaman, which is, you start at the end to get to the beginning. You take a step back to actually move forward. That is so powerful. And it is being asked of you at this time through Scorpio season. Scorpio season for Leos is a very empowering time, but it does require us tapping into that modality. So keep that in mind this month. This is a hidden magic month. That means that big visible shifts happen on the external. And I see that here in the cards even. There's kind of two levels to reality going on at all times, and November really speaks to this. We start with King of Swords, and I love that. This is getting some answers, right? This is a clarifier if I ever saw one. You may have an air sign coming in, giving you answers, giving you clarity for sure. The King of Swords is also tied to justice, to balance, to that Libran quality of coming out of the fog. Coming out of like uncertainty, vagueness, right? Kind of undecided crap and coming to decision. I really love to see this energy. This can be happening in context around you. This can also be happening within you, right? Activating this type of, it's masculine energy. This type of inner leader, inner captain energy is about getting clear, right? Clearing away the clutter, not spinning your wheels on all the things you haven't done, you should be doing, what have you been doing, whatever. This is about knowing your path moving forward. The King of Swords really isn't looking to have the tally of everything that's happened in the past and then like count that up and then say, okay, well, now I'm going to just keep that in my mind forever. He really wants to move forward with what is right in the moment. And that's important because the Death card is here. For me, these two together are kind of like a doorway, right? There's an initiation process going on here about who you're becoming next, about what 2021 is going to bring with it. Different challenges. And yeah, when Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius, you're right. I know some of you are saying, well, that's an opposition to us. Isn't that going to be really challenging? It's going to ask you to build. It's going to ask you to do things in new ways. It's going to ask you to get really honest and full of integrity. And when you try and do things that are just kind of not real for you, it's going to feel challenging. And when you do things that are focused and constructive and nourishing to your soul, it's going to be really easy. But there is an initiation going on here in November. This is an important time to recognize that you've changed. Your power has changed. Your magic has changed. That's not bad. It's a good thing, but there is a grief and transformation process that goes on with that realization of change. When the critical mass hits that point where you realize you aren't the same person you were in May, right? 6 months ago. Now, here's the thing. That is important. This work is important. You still have, there's actually much more of a strong focus energetically for me on the future for you and like on the possibilities and on opening up to what is next than anything else this month. And it has to do with that message I said about the big, bold, beautiful moves are going to come from that more hidden, secretive, soft process of magic that you have, Leo. Any great creative thing that people see, they might immediately feel like, oh, well, that just probably just popped out. They don't know the hours, right? They don't know the hours spent dreaming and thinking and editing and replaying, right? Two of Wands is opening you up to some adventures. You're getting prepared. You're getting the pieces in place. And part of that is that initiation into this changed self. Now, we have the Nine of Wands. And what would a good, powerful month be without some kind of energy like this? there's going to be a part of you, I think, with all of this change, all of this shift, and in welcoming in this Two of Wands, right? Reopening your heart to this Two of Wands, this adventure and what's possible next. That is going to feel as though it is foolish to trust and be open to it. It's foolish to believe that these beautiful things are possible. Foolish to believe it's safe to transform and have a little bit of a death and a rebirth. Foolish to think that it's going to be safe for you to become fully who you are next, and it's better to just stay in the past and worry. So when the Nine of Wands shows up, I always say, this guy, this being, be nice to this one, right? You know, we don't need to like lock him in a box and say, shut up, you're not wanted here. This guy wants to just be told, it's okay, I got you. Don't worry. Things never replay just exactly the same. Our inner child, the one who's been through some trauma, believes that things will always replay in the same way. But we know better than that, right? Our soul is looking for things that really connect with us. So Nine of Wands is just that cautious part of ourselves is a little wary of the adventure ahead, a little nervous about how quickly things are changing, how open things are becoming. I think actually, you know, there's been a lot of swift changes this year, but there's also been this sense that like nothing will ever change, that we're just now stuck in one reality with one set of pains and one set of unknowns and just this fog. But what I'm noticing with November in general and December is that things start to accelerate really fast in the changing landscape and the opportunities and how we're going to be doing things. You might think you have all this time to kind of sit still and wait it out and just like not know. But I think in November you're going to realize that the world is moving, that the energy is moving, that we're moving, and that there's a part of you that's like, wait a second, you know, I'm thinking that we're going to be stuck at home and have no options for like another year, and you're telling me that things are moving really fast. Oh my gosh. So I think that's part of what Leos specifically are going to be feeling. I'm going to pull a final card today from my Animal Totem Tarot. This is a beautiful deck, highly recommend. It's a really fun way to get a different read, and I haven't used these since January. Since the January readings, which feels like such a lifetime ago in every way possible. Yeah. So let's see what the message that wants to come through is. I'll be reading the animal message from the card. And Two of Cups. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, I love that. Oh, so good. Okay. Let me pull up the message for the Two of Cups. Here we go. The Hermit Crab. So beautiful. Love this deck. Here's the message. If ever there was an odd couple, it would be us. We don't seem to look like we belong together, but you will find us together on many a coral reef or aquarium. In fact, we could not think of anywhere else we would rather be than right here with each other, deep under the sea, friends till the end. Well, isn't that just the sweetest message? I think that speaks to what I was saying. There's forward motion happening in November. I think it's a very spiritual month, and in some ways it's going to be that hidden behind the scenes. And definitely go back to that place, Leo. You know, if you're feeling overwhelmed, go back to the hidden behind the scenes. Go back to that internal magic. Find your center there, and answers will come in really easily for you. It's a very deeply spiritual month. The direct days of Mercury, Mars, Neptune, the Jupiter-Pluto conjunction, and the moons are all going to be a bit intense in a way because our perception's shifting. Things are shifting into a different gear. But with that is coming this sense of forward motion. With that is coming this sense of things are progressing. You know, beautiful things are coming into connection. Even in the complexity of the landscape, there is a connective tissue going on here. And for some of you, this is going to be about deepening love. This is going to be about deepening partnership. This is going to be about deepening creativity and deepening opening to like what is next and what is possible. And I see that really clearly. Two of Wands and Two of Cups, to me, These are two cards that are about opening and expansion, right? They're about being fully open to like the complexity and vastness of the experience. They're not about closing down. They're not about self-limiting. And interestingly enough for Leos, this is a time to just let yourself shine bright and loud from that secret place, from that secret initiate place. Oh my goodness. I feel like I'm on a roller coaster doing this reading. And it's right before you're going to have like that big drop, and it's going to be exhilarating and fun, but it's also like, oh my gosh, am I going to be able to handle that? That's how I feel about the November energy for Leos. It is going to be a ride. It's going to be very exciting. And I think that is why the message came through for me to go back to that hidden magic place, to help kind of make it sustainable for you in this just wild opening. Like I said, I'm gonna get us all prepped and ready to go for this shift in energy in December. We're also gonna be finishing out Mars retrograde in my Patreon, and of course I do my weekly talks there, so that you have empowerment and support every single week, and worksheets and exercises and moon activations. It's a great space to be. I'd love to see you there. I'd love it if you subscribe too, so hang out with me and hang out and find out what else is going on in my world. You can also find me on Instagram and on my website, so I'll leave all of my links so you know where to find me below. And you can also find PinkLune's gorgeous jewelry on her Etsy shop, so I'll leave her link below as well. I see you all in December, and have a beautiful Scorpio season and a beginning to Sag season, one of my favorite times of year. I will see you all so soon. I love you with all my heart. Have a beautiful November.